This past weekend was the Queer Olympics. It was the Eurovision Song Contest final. It was clearly the biggest gathering of very fun and flamboyant people from all across Europe. They all descended upon Liverpool this past weekend in a record-breaking grand final for the BBC. It was estimated to have been seen by 9 to 10 million people in terms of just overnight figures on the BBC. And one thing that came before the Eurovision Song Contest final was the brand new trailer for the 60th anniversary specials. Now, I know that during the Chibnall era, there were some trailer drops before Strictly, there were some trailer drops on the Graham Norton show and stuff, and of course it comes down to just a matter of timing. There weren't as many big events for Doctor Who to have been able to play trailers before, but having the 60th anniversary trailers before the Eurovision Song Contest finals, that was one hell of a get. Let's just quickly go over this news article though. The titles are just the beginning of the Doctor's biggest adventure yet. Moments before the Eurovision Song Contest grand final came from Liverpool in the UK, viewers were transported out of this world as an explosive new trailer gave viewers an exciting glimpse of what to expect later this year. So, we've got Special 1, The Star Beast, Special 2, Wild Blue Yonder, Special 3, The Giggle. And Rusty Davis says that the titles are just the beginning of the Doctor's biggest adventure yet. Autumn is coming with 3 hours of danger, Donna and a disaster about to be unleashed. So it seems like he's confirming that they're going to be an hour apiece, unless, I don't know, 2 of them are 45 minutes and then the third one is an hour and a half. But let's just go with the assumption that these 60th anniversary specials are going to be 1 hour each. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go through this trailer shot by shot, more or less, quite slowly, and just see if there's any little details, anything we can pick out here. Right, so the trailer opens with 14th Doctor, David Tennant, making his way through Camden Market. It was the first bit of filming that we saw for the 60th anniversary special, seeing that they were going to be filming in Camden Market, that Catherine Tate, David Tennant and Bernard Cribbins in a wheelchair were also there. We can see the Cyberdog shop, which is a very iconic, visually distinctive shop that you can find in Camden. We saw all the location filming during the day, so either this has been colour corrected to hell and back, or we've got a bit more filming in Camden than we initially thought. We've also got these shots of Catherine Tate, or why did this face come back to say goodbye? Now, I did try to figure out, I'll just move the chat, I did try to figure out if this building was anywhere in London. Workspaces for people to innovate, connect and thrive. Couldn't find anything. Turns out if you just put those buzzwords in Google and the word London, you get absolute gibberish. So we see this shot of Catherine Tate as Donna holding a box full of knickknacks. When we saw Yasmin Finney and Catherine Tate on a location, they were carrying boxes. Seemingly somebody is moving out or they're transporting. Maybe they're selling a load of stuff at Camden, who knows. But this could be part of the same scene, potentially implying that the Doctor meets Donna and Rose and potentially Wilf in Camden Market. So we see a spaceship crashing here as well.
That's a plane. It's a spaceship in trouble.
Spaceship in trouble. So we also saw this bit of location filming as well. I'm sure there's a lot more filming for this episode that we have not seen, but it seems like they're being quite careful to make sure that we're only more or less seeing locations and scenes that we saw them out on location filming. Not too much stuff happening on sets or anything super secret. We've got the van exploding as well, potentially the unit van as well. So these are the Wraths from the Doctor Who comic The Star Beast. That's a 4th Doctor comic strip from decades ago where the 4th Doctor meets Beep the Meep, and that's where you get the title The Star Beast. Whether or not this is going to be a full-blown adaptation of The Star Beast, we do know that it's going to have the Wrath Warriors and Beep the Meep. Whether or not it's a full-blown adaptation has yet to be seen, but this first special is directed by Rachel Talalay, who directed Heaven Sent, Hellbent, Twice Upon a Time, The Doctor Falls, World Enough and Time. Basically, if you've got a favourite 12th Doctor story, chances are good Rachel Talalay directed it. Next up, okay, we can make the assumption as well that all of these preceding clips are from The Star Beast, and the next lot of clips are from the next story, which we know is called Wild Blue Yonder. Now, this story is directed by Tom Kingsley, who has recently been, is a BAFTA-nominated director. He directs episodes of Ghosts, Stath Lets Flats, and also This Is Going to Hurt. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he brings to the table. Wild Blue Yonder, for those of you who don't know, is an expression in exploration about going into the unknown, going into the vast unknown. So that's where the title comes from. Potentially, Blue Yonder could also be the name of a spaceship, because there seems to be a lot of blue backdrops here. It looks like that maybe the 14th Doctor and Donna are trapped on some sort of spaceship. But what's most interesting, though, is that you've got these redacted what do you call it? These redacted overlays over the footage. This could be either security footage, or it could be found footage, or something similar to Sleep No More. It's really hard to tell. You've got here at the bottom, I'll move the chat again. No. I moved everything but the chat. You can see here as well, network failure, unknown error, and you've also got little codes here as well, which apparently spell out like binary, I don't want to go, but backwards. Some people are also saying that this also has the word Rani in it, but that could be the case when you have binary. So yeah, it looks like we might be dealing with something a little bit more Black Mirror-esque, something a little bit more cerebral and existential in Wild Blue Yonder. This is the special it's safe to say that we know the least about. I'm also presuming that the shot from the first trailer of the Doctor crawling underneath a closing door presumably was also from this special. And also the 14th Doctor has taken off his oversized blue jacket and is now just wearing the shirt and the waistcoat, and he pulls off this look pretty damn well. Also, one little thing here for these special titles, we've got the original Russell T Davies era Vortex. If you go onto Russell T Davies's Instagram, one commenter says those Vortex / titles look great as well. Russell responded, "Oh, that's just the old Vortex, Charlie," with a winking kissy face with 2 kisses. So whether or not, I think that these are just placeholders, that they are not quite ready to reveal the actual Vortex or the actual intro yet. Not be surprised if they went for the original 2008 intro, considering it is David Tennant and Catherine Tate. Russ T Davies has said that no footage was released of episode 2 before this trailer was released. Well, Russ T Davies also can lie. I don't know. Also, we've got the third special as well, The Giggle. This is directed by Chanya Button, who also directed feature films Burn, 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 worked as an AD on the original Harry Potter films. Basically, she's been busy working a lot in theatre, in film, and also on TV for The Spanish Princess, World is on Fire, things like that. So I'm really looking forward to what Chanya Button brings here. But this looks like the location filming that we saw in Bristol, and we've got Neil Patrick Harris there as the Doctor's greatest enemy. As the Doctor's greatest enemy dancing in the street. This is the most confusing shot of the trailer for me, though. This person riding a police motorcycle whilst with a big orange thing on their head. Like, potentially this could be some visual effects that have not fully been integrated into the scene yet. Maybe the driver is meant to be on fire or something. I don't know. But it just looks like whoever Neil Patrick Harris is playing is unleashing havoc in Bristol, and also doing a little bit of dancey with the 14th Doctor. You mad. So yeah, this was the stuff that we saw them filming in Bristol, where a car crashes nearby, and then David Tennant just goes into the arms of Neil Patrick Harris and they start doing a bit of dancing. This could be a full-blown musical number, for all we know. It'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. Now, this bit is quite interesting. We are seeing some weird toy puppet thing. I don't know. But this does also look like a unit base. Once again, at the bottom here, we've got David Tennant not wearing the oversized coat. So maybe he loses the coat like halfway during these adventures, and he just sticks with the waistcoat. It's hard to tell. We've had a bit of fan speculation about who this individual here on the bottom right is. I've heard theories from Martha Jones to Yasmin Khan to just some random person in the bottom right corner here. I'm not inclined to think it's anyone personally, but yeah. So we've got the 14th Doctor looking at this screen with these weird creepy ass puppets,
laughing at the human race.
So something to do with a laugh, a giggle that is being put into the minds of every human on Earth. And the final shot, of course, I think this is probably from the first special, from the Star Beast. We've got Beep the Meep doing a homage to E.T., the extraterrestrial, the iconic Steven Spielberg film, hiding amongst all of the stuffed animals. And Donna Noble decides to stress test this theory by poking it in the eye. What the hell? Very good. That's just such a good reference as well. That's one of those things where, like, is Beep the Meep a film connoisseur from the 1980s and assumed that this would work? Either way, it's really cool that we both have Beep the Meep, who is also from the Star Beast comic strips that this story is named after, along with the Wrath Warriors being full-blown, practical, lumbering costumes or puppetry. Either way, I'm very happy with this. I'm assuming it's a person in a costume, but the head and the eyes, the mouth and that are animatronics. I do believe that Neil Gorton has announced that he is returning to do a lot of the makeup effects in this era of Doctor Who. I believe he is doing it for Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor for Series 14. Whether or not he's also attached to the 60th anniversary specials, I don't think it's been confirmed, but it's pretty safe to assume, I think. Very, very happy to see Beep the Meep here in full practical costume. Lovely stuff. Beautiful. This is cinema. It's like poetry. It's like it rhymes.
Wonderful chap. All of them.
Fun fact, these characters who appear in the Star Beast are co-created by Dave Gibbons, who also co-created Watchmen. Yeah, I believe that, didn't Doctor Who have like a deal in the 70s or the 80s, whenever the Star Beast comic came out, with the Marvel Comics? So I know that Watchmen is DC, but it just shows that they had mainstream comic book talent and big names, at least along, like, within the periphery of Doctor Who magazines. I guess checking the Wikipedia page. So Doctor Who and the Star Beast, the comic strip, came out in 1980. The redacted thing is entirely meta for the trailers. Do you have a source for that? Because it seems like a weird inclusion to have. Like maybe they won't be over these particular shots, but I don't know. I'm kind of getting Sleep No More vibes from this. Or maybe they're trying to market The Wild Blue Yonder as a story that is going to be super duper secretive, which I imagine you would be able to be super duper secretive if it's primarily filmed in studio, where you're able to keep a closed set, where you don't have to worry about seeing Neil Patrick Harris and David Tennant dancing in the streets of Bristol. Neil Patrick Harris and David Tennant dancing in the streets of Bristol, that's one hell of a sentence. That stuff we saw. 1 second, let me try and find it. It might take me a minute, but you can go on Twitter, use hashtag DWSR, which stands for Doctor Who Sausage Rolls, and then you can look at Patrick Harris dancing. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. So this was mid-July last year. This is filming in Bristol. Credit to Doctor Who filming locations. Scene showing chaos on the street, Tennant reasoning with a man on the street, and then Neil Patrick Harris dancing through the crowds. So yeah, this is what we saw last summer. With Seagull, I imagine, in the background. Yeah, somebody tries to run, or like somebody is driving a car, the Doctor runs in front of it, almost gets run over, and is like stopping to talk to the driver. And Neil Patrick Harris is there dancing. Yeah, so this was in Bristol. This was one of the first big bits of on-location filming that they did for the 60th anniversary. And also, you can see in the background here, Les Miserables, there's signpost here, and Mamma Mia. I'm not great at my Italian, but I do believe that Mamma Mia is Italian for holy shit. So I think that they might have to get rid of that in the backgrounds when they're ready to broadcast. Here we go. Here's some more filming of the dancing. And Catherine Tate is in the background as well. So she is present for these scenes. So it does look like Catherine Tate is sticking around for all 3 specials. Some more filming as well. It does look like we have either that's Bernard Cribbins in the wheelchair, or that is a Bernard Cribbins stand-in in a wheelchair. Well, he's not standing in, but you take my point. He's sitting. Thank you. I was worried I was going to get cancelled for that one. Oh no, this wasn't back in July, sorry, this was back in June. Back in June, apologies, not July. I'm ready to cry my eyes out when I see Wilfred Mott in the special. Yeah, that's gonna be sad. 99% chance that there's gonna be some sort of dedication. There's gonna be some sort of dedication to him at the end of either the specials or in general, just at the end. The puppet in the trailer looks like Stucky Bill, which was a puppet used for the testing of the first TV. Let's have a look. I don't know what noise that was that I made. Oh, it does a bit. Okay. Content warning for people who have phobias of creepy ass puppets. So this is Stucky Bill, who is a weird puppet that they use to test TV broadcasts, apparently. Yep, that does look like what we see in the trailer, and I hate it. Who thought this was okay? Why? To scare the kids. To scare them straight. Clearly. Thank you, Evil Dalek, for letting us all have that collective shudder. They could use a person because it was dangerous. The puppet supposedly caught on fire when testing. What? Stucky Bill was the name given to the head of a ventriloquist dummy that Scottish television pioneer John Logie Baird used in his 1924 experiments to transmit televised image between rooms in his laboratory. Presumably, the end of the story is that he was found dead in his apartment with the door locked, all the windows sealed, and the only other item in the room was this fucking puppet. That's the end of this story, right? Due to the low sensitivity of the photoelectric cells, Baird's first system was not able to televise human faces because they had inadequate contrast, so Baird used a ventriloquist dummy whose brightly painted face had greater contrast and made it move and talk before the scanner. Stucky Bill and another Baird dummy, James, have been jokingly called the first television actors. More like the first television creepypasta. Jesus Christ. The incandescent lights illuminating the subject to be televised generated so much heat that Baird couldn't use a human for the testing, so Stucky Bill was used. Eventually, the hair became singed and the painted face became cracked by the heat. Oh my god, this fucking thing. Oh dear.